Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to Paris, France. It's the FIBA Basketball World Cup European Qualifiers. It's game day 7, Group K, and it's the battle between France and Czech Republic. Well, the Echo Arena just paying tribute, the fans watching, to the nice tribute that was paid to former captain, longtime national team star Boris Dio, and now all of the attention turns to the stars of today. And France, you could see, taking on the Czech Republic. Earlier, Lithuania won a very tough game at Hungary, and Montenegro and Bosnia and Herzegovina right now are trading blows. So here are the standings for Group K. Lithuania up at the top, but France will leapfrog them back into first if they win tonight. Both would have top records, and you can see Czech Republic coming into this game in dire need of a win with 3 wins in their first 6 games. And as France continue to celebrate really an era of basketball, which I think many fans are hoping is going to be a golden generation, a golden era for them, the Czech Republic continue to rejoice, celebrate, whatever you want to call it, and what has become of their national team, a team that not only made it to the FIBA Basketball World Cup the last time in 2019, but made it all the way to the quarterfinals and had a 6th place finish. I'm not sure how many people, if anybody, expected that to happen. And of course, one big reason for that was Tomáš Satoranský, as well as Jaromír Boháček. And unfortunately, both of those guys won't be playing tonight. Both of them out, injured, and unavailable. And also their rising star, Vít Krejčí, not able to play tonight after getting knocked around a little bit in a warm-up game. So all 3 players kind of licking their wounds, but no doubt it's the next man up philosophy for the Czechs. And certainly with France, if they ever have any injuries, which they have had, like for example with Frank Ntilikina, they no doubt just bring the next player up, and they continue to be a national team just stock full of talent. And as you can see, the players coming out right now, this is a team that I think firmly believes they can be the best team in the world, and certainly they can compete with the best teams in the world. Remember, they got to finished third rather, at the last FIBA Basketball World Cup in 2019, and this very experienced team also at the Olympics in Tokyo made it all the way to the final. They also beat the eventual champions USA in their first game. So this is a country that believes in its chances. And remember, don't forget, it was France also that upended the defending champions USA at the last FIBA Basketball World Cup. So as Vincent Poirier comes out, and this star-studded unit of players, the squad that Vincent Collet now has at his disposal, you have to say that this is a team that will be thinking they're going to come out and get a win tonight in front of this roaring crowd that has come to watch. For now, we're going to have a pause in the commentary for the playing of the national anthems. Well, the crowd is roaring here in Paris, getting ready for what promises to be a very entertaining match, very entertaining game between France and Czech Republic, two teams that had terrific European qualifiers campaigns for the last FIBA Basketball World Cup. They made it. They made it to the quarterfinals, and in France's case, they upset the United States in the quarters, made it to the semifinals, and ended up, after losing to Argentina, beating Australia in the third place game. For the Czech Republic, they just have continued to move from strength to strength, because I don't know how many people anticipated them making it to the Olympics, but they did after their great World Cup campaign, winning the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament in Victoria, Canada. Boris Krejci, got to Silins, and Vulic there are the referees for tonight's game. That would be Martin Vulic from Croatia. So Boris Krejci, the crew chief, and a very experienced crew at that. Well, France put on such a magnificent FIBA Eurobasket back in 2015, and we saw some of the memories of that in the pregame here in Paris as they honored Boris Dio for his long and terrific career. Just a great example of putting in the hard work. Of course, he had a lot of talent, but he had to put in the hard work and just reach the highest levels of the game. And such an inspiration, really, for so many of these fans. They've all come out now to watch the stars of today. And I'll tell you what, you'd be hard-pressed to find a more talented crop of up-and-coming young players than the players of France. They have got a lot of good players, and it is going to take everything and more from this Czech team to really give them a hard time tonight. Wojtek Hruban, Andrej Balvin, Andrej Senal, Jan Vesely, and Thomas Kislink in the starting five tonight. Kislink has kind of emerged in these European qualifiers as a real factor for the Czech Republic. Patrick Auda, Vioral, Pulpan, Peterka, Paliza, Jelinek is a big scorer, and Križ coming off the bench for coach Ronan Ginsberg. Nano, as we know him. Nano Ginsberg has been at the helm since they played at the Eurobasket 2015 and made that great run to clinch a top 8 finish and make it to the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament that was in Serbia back then. Timothée Luwawu-Cabarrot, Thomas Hurtel, Gershon Yabusel, Evan Fournier, and Rudy Gobert in the starting five for France, and Ilya Kobo, Ahmad Enbai, Theo Maladon, and all the way down coming off the bench, Mom Jete, all coming off the bench for coach Vincent Collet, who, if you remember, you go back to Eurobasket 2009, and France were there, but it was only after they put Collet in charge. They had been struggling for results. And you might remember they had the high expectations, France, going all the way back to the Eurobasket 2007 when they did not, they came oh so close to winning their quarterfinal against Russia. And in the end, they finished 8th and missed out on a chance to go to the Olympics. But then they hit back strong, and they've been playing well ever since. France, of course, winning the FIBA Eurobasket in 2013. Also getting the third place at the FIBA Basketball World Cup in 2014. So they are a powerhouse. They know it, you know it, I know it, everybody knows it. Well, hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to Paris, France. European qualifiers battle between France and Czech Republic is underway. And Gershon Yabusel misses with his first attempt down low, the Real Madrid star. And Vesely, who had hoped to be playing with his teammate, good friend Tomasz Satoransky, comes out. Tells no other friends in this team, among them Hruban. And Wojtek Hruban drives in and makes the layup. Really is coming up with a final roster for France. You think it just has to be so difficult with so much talent. Of course, Rudy Gobert just writes his name on the roster when he's available, and he makes the bounce pass. And Luau Cabral gets his first basket of the game. Kisley, very difficult to guard, able to put the ball on the deck and get to the basket. You might fancy that matchup. And Ruban comes out and strokes the three. So good news with Shataransky and Bohacek especially not here tonight. Getting some three-point firepower from Ruban. How about that for firepower? And Fournier usually makes them, but he misses. Kisley hands it off. Seynal. Now to Balvin, and Balvin scores with the jump hook. Hey, listen, this guy is for real. Big reason why the Czechs have gotten to where they are now, and that is quite a twin tower combination they've got out there with Balvin and Vesely. And the miss, and now Ruban. It doesn't matter how much talent, how much potential France have on the floor. They have to beat a Czech team that has risen in the ranking. And there you see the long three from Balvin, and he's coming out and letting everybody know immediately that he's one of the top players in Europe. Unbelievable. Played so well at the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament in Victoria, Canada last year, helping the Czechs win that to get to the Olympics. Now Gobert, nowhere to go. Yabusel gets it, puts it up and in, and gets fouled. Boy, he's got some serious strength, doesn't he? Well, Balvin just wants to get something straight. And my only thinking, yeah, it's his left, his hands were kind of lowered, his arms were lowered, and then he reached in and he caught Yabusel. There's a chance for a three-point play. And Gershon makes it. Vesely, his pass intercepted. He was trying to get it to Balvin, but well, Gobert in the right place. And Yabusel misses. And France are taking it down low pretty much every time, other than Fournier's miss. Balvin, will it be his second three? Yes, it will. Count it. Another three for the big fella. And then the other end, Yabusel drives. And two free throws coming. Another foul on Balvin. Well, that's the best way to get the biggest thorn in your side out of the game, is to get fouls called on him. And that's exactly what Vulic is telling him. He's like, listen, if you have your hands straight up, see if he lowers his arms here. I mean, that was not quite as obvious as the first one. But Yabusel's deceptively big. I mean, you wouldn't think he would be able to compete as much as he does against these low post players like Balvin, but he really is fearless. And the way he started this game, he's kind of sending out a message as well. So Balvin's going to have to take a seat. Well, I guess, yeah, I mean, they're definitely arguing their case. Patrick Aldo, one of the real unsung heroes. Well, he's certainly become a major player for this team. He checks back into the game, or he checks into the game for the first time. Here he goes. And gets it back to Vesely, who's missed a couple of jumpers. Yabusel, we've seen what he does inside. How about outside? Goodness me, what a start. Auda, pump fake, goes right up against Gobert and didn't have it blocked, but no, Gotta respect the fact that he took him on and was able to get it up. Gobert, though, affected the shot, no doubt. Yabusele again from the left. A tough rebound. Luau Cabarrot, and France, if they get offensive rebounds, look at the behind the back pass and the flush from Rudy Gobert. Showtime has arrived in Paris. And now Ruban turns it over, trying to push it up against Luau Cabarrot. And just the quickness, the athleticism, the self-belief in this France team is just there for all to see right now. Look at that. And then Air Gobert gets the fans on their feet.
We make basket and we get. Run back. Can't do that. Jan is the first one. Run back. Against pressure, first of all, Jan, come to the ball. Let's go. Let's go. Arms down now. Okay, let's go. Come on.
Well, what has to be disheartening for Czech Republic is you look at those shooting numbers. They're making shots, but they're not coming close to stopping France at this point. And also their biggest weapon, Balvin, is out of the game with 2 early fouls. But Gobert affecting that shot and then going to the other end and getting the dunk. Yabusele's been extremely tough, and Hurtel's like, I've earned the right to come out and play with some panache. I'm going to go behind the back pass. There he is. And it really is, when you sit back and think about what this France team has, when it's in all of its glory, it is impressive stuff. And you know, the team, if they're not thinking about him, the USA, they should be thinking about him, because this is a team that clearly represents, I think, the biggest threat to their hegemony. Yabusele down low, going and puts it up and in over Auda. Boy, he is just unstoppable. 10 points. Game's not even 5 minutes old. Kisling. Vesely, and this time Vesely makes the shot. So his first bucket. Thought he'd missed another one, so anyway, just one. Thomas Hurtel. I mean, imagine when you reflect on the brilliance of France. I mean, I guess it really wasn't brilliance, but when you reflect on how good they were over the past 12 years, it was really, were it not for Spain. I think Tony Parker said it right when he was at the Olympics in 2016, when he retired from the national team and basically said, hey, had it not been for Spain, had it not been for Pau Gasol and that gifted generation, we would have won a lot more. But, you know, as good as that France team was, with Parker, with Dio, with Florent Pietrus, with Jalabal, with all of those guys, and then the young players here, this edition of France looks like it's taken France's game up a notch. Nice bounce pass inside. Oh, what a finish. Are you kidding me? Well, Sainal says, say no more. Send him to the line for a potential three-point play. Terrific pass. Terrific pass from Vesely. Look at that. And how in the world did Sainal maintain his composure? Remember, he hit some big shots from three-point range at the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament. Now he's going to come out, and Pulpan, who had his regular season ended playing in the Czech Republic through injury in the playoffs when he was playing very well, and finds himself in the team here, the Czech team, and with a real chance to raise eyebrows. Now, turning it over, and great defense led by Vesely. Auda gets it up to Ruban, who pulls up and takes the shot that's on offer. Czechs having enough of this French stuff. I want to remind people how good they are. Three-point attempt. And the miss from Luau Cabarro. I mean, France are not going to make all the shots. You just have to get the rebound. Oh, terrific block. Rudy Gobert not having any of that. Fournier for three. And Gobert flies down, and the Minnesota Timberwolves recently, his new team, couldn't come up with it. And now the great effort by the Czechs to counterattack, get out on the break. So Nano Ginsburg is saying, hey, you're not giving Gobert, and the thing is, Gobert lowered his arms, but it didn't look like he made any contact here. And he got the swat. Plus, he has the reputation of being the premier shot blocker in the world. So it's going to be hard to call that on Gobert, even though he does lower his arms. But that's exactly what Nano Ginsburg is saying. It's like, hey, listen, you've called 2 fouls on my big guy, Andrej Balvin, because you said that he lowered his arms. And this time, it's Gobert that lowers his arms, and you haven't called the foul. But I think, honestly, in the replay, it looked like the ref got that right. So Ruban, the veteran, makes the first. And gets them both to drop. And the Czech Republic, despite taking some shots to the body there, has taken a 5-point lead. And look out, folks, Théo Maledon has checked into the game. He is worth the price of admission. Number 11 for France. He's got the ball right now. Fournier drifts in. And Alda rebounds and runs. Quick outlet over to Jelinek, who is offense and then some. He puts it up from deep and is fouled while attempting the three by Maledon. Fascinating. Jelinek, who is kind of the forgotten man in Czech basketball. And then he came back for the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament and become a big part of this team again. And Maledon, I think, was right. You know, got a lot of ball on that. But those things even out over the course of the game. Jelinek takes his time and misses the first. Lubos Barton over there, the assistant coach, talking to Nano Ginsburg, one of the assistants rather. Used to be a star in this Czech national team, played back in Eurobasket 2013, just when Shataransky and Vesely were coming into the team. And his coaching acumen is clear. He is a star on the rise, Lubos Barton. Now the dump, great effort by Vesely to deny Gobert. And the Czech fans that are watching this game have to be impressed by the way their team has responded to that flurry of greatness by France. They have come back swinging. You get punched in the mouth, what are you going to do? I mean, really, Collet and Ginsburg have to be saluted. You know, they've been in the jobs for a long time for a reason. They are two of the best coaches in the business. Maledon back outside to Fournier. Puts it up at the stripe. Good hands, good D from the Czechs. And this is what Ruban can do. He can rebound and run as well. He gets it inside. Oh boy, he missed an opportunity. And then Alda bumps Ili Okobo. Ooh. That's definitely the contact. The Czechs are, you know, there's not going to be any time to rest for the Czechs because the way France bring in top players. Isaiah Cordinier comes into the game. He's got the basketball now. And Gobert, a little push shot. Not sure that's his strength. Also in the game, Vincent Poirier. So two serious Real Madrid front court players in this France national team in this window. And speaking of Cordinier, you know, maybe outside of France and definitely Europe, not as celebrated a player, but I can confidently say that he will probably get you on your feet tonight watching him play. He is a sensational athlete and competitor. Jelinek drives in. Jelinek has to provide the offense. Maladon, they read his pass. Kislink. And then Okobo, wrong support. Got to catch it with your hands. Gobert almost forcing the turnover. Kislink did a great job of not losing it. Or was it pull time? Excuse me. Was it the pull time or... Anyway, here is a three-point shot. Paterka, that's what he does. Leave him open at your own risk, and he will punish you. And the Czech Republic, folks, considering the adversity they faced coming into this game, without Satoransky, without Krejci, without Bohacic, and to be leading by 10 points right now, that tells you all you need to know about the Czechs. Let's go down to the French bench.
Écarter les ballons. Ils sont tous dans la raquette. Donc même quand vous repénétrez, ils sont là. Et souvent, c'est quand on pénètre une première fois 2 passes, on les étire. Hein? En attaque, avoir confiance dans les bons tirs. Mais par contre, là-bas, il faut qu'on monte de niveau. Attention, il y a le bonus. Donc la pression, elle est intelligente. Pour se faire passer. Et Terka est un shooter, il faut vraiment être à côté. Allez, on garde confiance. On fait 3, d'accord? 3, mais on peut finir à l'intérieur, on bouge vite. Sur le premier, Zaya, il est là. C'est toi, Élie. Donc on va changer. Par là, Vincent prend l'écran et Rudy tout de suite pour Zaya. D'accord? Allez, bon.
So what happens when the Czechs lose Balvin? Do they press the panic button? No, they do not. Other players come in and make plays, including Paterka, who obviously has that huge reputation for that three-point shot. And with that, he takes the lead up to 10 points. That's correct, folks. 10 points. So here's Cordinier and the miss, and here comes the rebound from Aldo. I mean, during that timeout, Collet talking about how, yeah, we want to apply the pressure, but it has to be intelligent pressure. Otherwise, they're going to beat us back down the court. Now, Aldo, just because he gets the ball in the paint, doesn't have to put it up. That wasn't very intelligent. Here goes the shot. Okobo fouled, so he gets a couple of free throws. Good player, Okobo. Kislink having to play really important minutes tonight. Obviously, because of the injuries. And Okobo makes his first to get it back to a 9-point deficit. And it's such a grand event for these French players, but when you think about it, it's just as big for the Czechs. And don't forget, the Czechs are hosting one of the groups for FIBA Eurobasket, which tips off, you know, in about a week. So they'll be in Prague. They want to be building and building towards that, but they also want to get back to the World Cup. Oh boy, tough drive. Couldn't get the drop. Now here comes France on the break. Cordinier has it knocked away. Great play by Auda. And then Auda again. Well, this time he's able to get the foul. So I guess you have to salute him for his bravery going up against Amat Inbay, who really came to prominence, at least in Europe, playing in European qualifiers for the last FIBA Basketball World Cup, and also playing in the Basketball Champions League. Of course, he'll be playing for Anadolu Efes next. Here's Auda. And Ginsburg knows his guys have to take advantage of these opportunities. You got to play just a great game in all facets to be able to beat this French team, to at least keep it close until the fourth quarter. So it makes one of the two. Maledon. And his shot knocked away. Good play. Here comes Pupin up ahead. Jelinek decides to hold it up. Cordinier on him. Jelinek for three. And then France battling each other for the rebound, and it goes out of bounds. Akobo and Mbai both going for the basketball. So 14 on the shot clock, so you can't take it all the way down. France really applied the pressure. Jelinek. Oh, look at the moves. Oh, just lost control of it as he went up. And Cordinier now with France. Will they hold it for one? Looks like they will. Akobo. Really, Akobo. They're going to have to hurry. And it goes to Poirier. And the ball goes out of bounds. Good job by Auda with Balvin. Remember, out of the game with 2 fouls. And Auda is absolutely working his tail off. You can see he is just dripping with sweat. I'm going to get a towel out there on that court. 2.1 seconds left to get the ball into Poirier. And that's how the first quarter finishes. Well, all things considered, if you're a Czech basketball fan, you have got to love what you've seen. You don't have some of your big guns tonight. Well, everybody else wearing the Czech shirt is doing a pretty darn good job rising to the occasion. The Czech Republic lead at 27-18 over France at the end of one. Saw the numbers real quickly there. Shooting numbers. So here are the numbers. 7 of 7 France at the line, 4 of 13 inside the arc, but just 1 3. Meanwhile, the Czechs have made all 3 of their threes. They're 6 of 14 inside the arc, and they're 6 of 8 at the charity stripe. Just a great day, another great day of basketball, folks. The European qualifiers in the 4th window tipping off, and we have got a humdinger right now. Balvin with the 2 fouls comes back into the game. Here he goes. And he's fouled and he scores! Balvin, if he can stay on the court, he's playing out of his skin right now. And Vincent Poirier questioning. And the thing is, Balvin kind of spun in and then faded. Watch this. Almost looked like he was raising his kind of his left arm there to clear out, but in the end he just kind of faded, and he got the call this time to go his way. But Balvin misses for the third time tonight. A Czech missing a free throw. But 9 points for Balvin, and the Czechs showing no signs of slowing down right now, leading by 11 points. Vesely back in the game, Ruban back in, Pulpan in the game, Kislink, Poirier, and he went right at Balvin, and Vesely comes up with the basketball. And again, you have to salute the work of Patrick Alda, who came off the bench and really held the fort down while Balvin was out, and also while Vesely was out. So now those two guys are back out there. Kislink, he's got to do something here. Is he going to get some penetration? Nope, he's going to launch it from deep, and it goes off the back of the iron. French defense wasn't giving much away there. Thomas Hertel drives in and had all the moves, and Cordinier there for the offensive rebound and putback. Yeah, the way France play, I mean, it's Senol comes back in. In a sense, they want to play up-tempo, much more up-tempo than what we've seen France teams play in the past. I mean, it's kind of like the shackles have come off for France. But this Czech team, that's how they like to play as well. And three-point shot off the back of the iron. But the thing is, with the Czechs, they've got to make shots, because eventually this wave of pressure with France will catch up with you. Cordinier for three, and goes off, and Balvin able to get the rebound. Balvin just had a slow start, really, to his professional career. People wondered if he was really going to be able to live up to the expectations. It took him a while, but boy, he took him several years, but he has really emerged. Here he goes off the hands, and a break for the Czech Republic. This time, I think Balvin saying, you got to shoot that basketball. Remember that Satoransky went to Spain from the Czech Republic. Satoransky to play at Sevilla, and then Balvin came the following year, but it wasn't until several years later that he really started to pick it up. Good hustle and good steal from Ruban, and then his pass intended for Kislink. And Kislink didn't break to the basket. Fournier comes back into the game. And one of the things I'll always remember from that incredible FIBA Basketball World Cup in 2019 was when the Czechs took on the USA, and they really caused a lot of problems for the USA. And I remember Greg Popovich, the coach of the USA, going up after the game and really, you know, kind of telling Coach Nana Ginsburg his team had played very well. Here is Hertel. And Hertel again. Hertel's shot just not on. He's making the passes, the hooping and the scooping, but just not making them. Hertel, the veteran point guard in this team tonight. Ruban, bounce pass, or gets it now back outside. Kislink. And again, for this Czech team to be able to turn it on, they've got to make those open jumpers. There's foul not selected for tonight, having to watch from the bench. Drifting in, that's much better from Thomas Hertel. That's just kind of like drifting in. It's like, okay, what's available? What's available? Ruban then does the same thing at the other end. Wow, he is playing elite basketball tonight. Wojtek Ruban. Hertel again. A nice pass. Ahmad Enbai for the two-handed rim rocker. I mean, Hertel's passing is just sublime. Look at this. Of course, you got to have the cutter, and that was in by. Quick pass. Oh, what a pass that was in response, and Kislink this time scores with the reverse. Fournier takes the bump, and then Cordinier has it knocked out of his hands, and I think it goes off of him and out of bounds. Cordinier complaining, saying he got hit. I have to see the replay. Ruban playing A-star Ruban tonight. This time misses though. He's missed a couple of shots right there at the basket, but we'll forgive him for the way he's played overall. Mbai outside. Now Fournier, the man they want to get going, and Evan Fournier just cannot get it going. Now the quick pass up, and Kislink. What a play from the Czechs! What a play! Goodness gracious! You cannot stand around ball watching. You got to get back on defense because this Czech team is in attack mode.
Il faut qu'on fasse plus, les gars, là. Faut qu'on fasse plus. Mais ça simple. Les gars, ça va pas se faire tout seul, hein. On attaque. On attaque à un côté, c'est intéressant parce qu'ils sont très bas. Tu fais un bon écran, il a vraiment. Et après, reste pas 3 heures. Viens quand même pour donner la solution, d'accord? De toute façon, le mec, son mec, il reste dans l'écran. Comment il fait la différence tout seul? Ah, d'accord? Mais vraiment. Et après, on y pense. On a un problème numéro 1. C'est qu'on surpresse et on est battu sans arrêt. Et on vient faire des aides à contrôler. Il ne faut pas être battu. Il faut rester face à vos joueurs et être dans les lignes de passe pour les autres. Il se sert. Ruban, il va qu'à droite. Donc il faut l'empêcher, il faut faire semblant. Gêner le tir, mais pas de drive. Allez. Plus.
You can hear the sense of urgency coming from Collet. But this is just Czech basketball. I mean, they get the rebound and they are off. And in many respects, it's the kind of basketball that France want to play. And in some ways, the Czechs already play that way. They play it better. I mean, it's not by accident that these guys, again, have done so well in recent years and currently find themselves number 12 in the FIBA World Ranking presented by Nike. There's the drive and the foul. So free throws coming for Fournier. You know, some of the ills, oh boy, if that's on Balvin. And I think it is. So, yeah, that was definitely a foul on Balvin. So he has to go to the bench with 3 fouls. So for the last 5 minutes, let's see how Nano Ginsberg is going to do this. He's going to bring Auda back in, who was really good in the first half. And again, Auda is not a pushover. You know, he's been there for all the good times for the Czech Republic. He's among the many Europeans to have taken his talents to play in the Japan B League. And here he is back playing for his national team. Balvin also has been over in Japan. So gets it back to a 10-point game. Yabusele and Gobert coming back in. Yabusele kind of the forgotten man. He was so good early. And I suppose at the end of the day, if you're Collet, I mean, you look at this like it is must win, but on the other hand, you know it's not must win because you're 5-1. And you also have to get these other guys playing at the level that they need to be at if you're going to be a team that's going to not only get to the World Cup but do something special, but also a team that's going to do well at the Eurobasket. Tarpey just checking into the game and comes up with a steal. Another behind the back pass for Ertel. Yabusele. Well, it's kind of cooled off. He's been on the bench too long, maybe. Fournier just cannot get the drop, and Jelinek brings it down. Ertel called for a push on Alda. Oh boy, looked like Fournier might have gotten away with a bump there as well. Jelinek is really feeling it. Jelinek is a great talent, but I'm not sure he's playing with the quickness that he's going to have to play at to be in this Czech team. Here he goes. Over to Vesely, tough shot, and he makes it. How about Jan Vesely? Now the pass to Gobert. He's fouled and he makes the shot. Boy, what an amazing finish that was. Let's have another look at that. So Gobert takes the hack and stays with it and still makes the shot, but does not come close to making the free throw. Vesely. And Kislink missing. And another foul, so crowd boos. This is what I like about Ertel when he does put that pressure on the defense, because he's either going to be wheeling and dealing, passing, shuffling, or he's going to be scoring. Put pressure on the D. Get your feet wet. Vesely goes out. Yabusele drives in. I mean, probably the one player that Czechs haven't known what to do with. He just goes right at Peterka and scores. Now the Czechs would like to get Peterka open for some looks. And Peterka gets it, passes it, Kislink, and long rebound, Alda. And then a little runner from Jelinek, and the Czechs just continue to impress. And now the ball goes off of Tarpe and back over to the Czechs. Well, Coach Collet, his staff, they know it's a 40-minute game, but Andrew Albesi watching tonight, not in the squad. Such a big part of that team that reached the podium at the World Cup. Also played well at the Olympics. Bounce pass to Alda, and he traveled. He actually had a good move to kind of free himself a little bit as Gobert, but then as he kind of lost his footing, Gobert came back and just swatted him. Look at this. Great move from Alda. Gobert goes out of the picture, but then he quickly is back in. Not in my house. Fournier steps back. Finally gets it to drop, much to the relief of the fans here in Paris. All-Star 5 selection at the last FIBA Basketball World Cup. So timeout on the court. Nando Ginsburg wants to talk about this final minute and 51 seconds. Here is again Fournier doing Evan Fournier stuff.
First of all, this time we play two sides. Matthew will get the ball. Okay? Matthew, you get the ball. You will two sides. Okay? But you need to press the half. Right? Now, if they try to post yourself, first of all, press the pass, okay, with the switch, okay? And if we need down, we go down. Baggio, if they post up, go down. If we go down, he's down, he's down. Okay, yeah, we go down, right? So that's what we play on offense, two sides. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, that's a great sight, isn't it? French fans waving the flag, showing that national pride. And their players will be appreciating that. That'll get them going. But it's always an awesome sight. They do it better here than anywhere, really. Every national team has its own little routine, tradition, but they've been doing this more and more with France. And they might be waving those flags a little bit faster if they can come back. But here's Jelinek coming out and puts up an air ball. Good hands from Ruban to slow the fast break from France. Three-point shot or two. Well, that'll help. And now back to a 5-point game. And sure enough, France, you know they've got the players that can go on a run here and maybe even take the lead by halftime. Jelinek. Again, another runner goes with his left hand. This time misses badly. Fournier pulls up on the break. Oh, and the putback jam from Rudy Gobert. Let's have another look. Get out of my way, he says. That's what the fans come to see. Their superstar delivering at the rim. Ruban. Tough shot, Wojtek Ruban. And again, France running. They can tie it with a three or pull to within one. This is Gobert again. And just like that, France, in a little bit of a crisis, have turned it up a notch and closed the gap to just 3 points. Hertel goes out. Point guard replaced by Ilya Kobo. Settle back in the game. So Auda takes a seat. He's out of there after that foul. Alvin has 3 fouls, out of 2. Pass down low, Gobert again, Rudy Gobert. It doesn't have to be the dunks. He can lay them up and in as well. And the Czechs now Doesn't matter what happens the rest of the way. The French are going to take all the momentum to halftime. Ruban decides to take an early three, and he does. Well, that might just give the Czechs a little bit of that momentum back. I thought he took it too soon, but he made it with about 3 seconds to go. And Ruban, folks, I have to tell you, I mean, he is playing some of his best basketball ever for the Czechs tonight, really showing some leadership with Shataransky, Bohacik out, and obviously Krejci as well. The Czech Republic lead it 42-38 over France at halftime. So France just 2 threes, 4 for the Czechs, but look at that, 12 of 24 for the Czechs, 12 makes for France. I mean, they're giving them everything they could ask for, but and more. France, the Czechs with 5 more assists, France with more rebounds. Yabusele's kind of an interesting, seemed like, you know, he was kind of carrying France and left the game and didn't come back. Might be a question for Collet after the game. Well, the action has been fast and furious, but also some three-point shooting, and not from players that you would really expect. Andrej Balvin coming out, hitting a couple of three-pointers in the first half, but foul trouble sent him to the bench. Then a little bit of Showtime action from Mr. Showtime, Thomas Hurtel, the Rudy Gobert. And this was Alda taking on Gobert. That was a good block by Gobert. And then Paterka. I don't understand why they can't get him open for more looks, Paterka, because it seems like whenever he puts it up, it's in. And Balvin getting the benefit of this call here, fouled by Vincent Poirier. Counted the basket. And then Hurtel doing Hurtel thing. Cordinier with the offensive rebound and put back. Again, Hurtel was just a magician with the basketball with his passing. He's just so terrific. And by with the dunk. That was another look at that same play. Speaking of Hurtel, as we look at this great fast break, Kislin can really get out and run. Hurtel has 4 assists to lead France. And for the Czechs, 5 assists. This might surprise you. 5 assists for the center, Jan Vesely, or the power forward, whatever you want to call him. So Vesely with a game-high 5 assists. And the Czechs keeping the scoreboard ticking over, but it was a run late in the first half, including that dunk from Gobert, and France pulled it within 1 only for Ruban. To hit another three-pointer for the Czech Republic right before halftime. 42-38, the Czech Republic on top of France.
Who will you become when the moment arrives and you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation, representing your people and their dreams? The colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands. It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.
pass inside, the foul and the two.
Hello, Markkanen. I mean, just the ability of Lauri Markkanen and what he can do offensively.
But Nassim is still quickly isolated. Oh, he gets rejected. Wow, Mr. De Jong with the rejection. Well, De Jong said, "You're not worthy. Get out of here."
Weedle to the glass. Crowd liked it. Weedle throws it down hard.
Percussion has the ball stolen. Up ahead, Dragic, another lob, and Toby.
De Jong opens up the drive lane. Nice pass. Oh, what a decision. De Jong taps his head. Heads up play.
Doncic just takes it all the way. Oh, goodness me. How do you stop it?
And they hammer home the advantage with a half court. The third quarter has belonged to Greece. And Kikas.
That poor performance from the free throw line that has truly cost Georgia today. Oh, and there's the poster. There's the flex. Kachenko just throws the hammer down. And there's the gun show.
Bosnia-Herzegovina with a chance to win this. 4 seconds left. Big time three. Makunac Havala. Big time shot from Zane Musa from downtown. That is unbelievable. And he says to the fans, Kako si dobre on the buzzer. I mean, that is just what a way to end the campaign here. The game-winning three-pointer. Zane Musa with the big-time game winner. Unbelievable.
Well, Gershon Yabusele coming out and leading France in scoring here in the first half tonight with 12 points. He had 10 of those in the first quarter alone. 4 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 5 inside the arc. And I'm guessing that we will see some more of him in the second half. In the end, he played 12 minutes, so I guess Coach Collet could have had him on the court more, but then again, he had Fournier on the court for 15 minutes, but Fournier just really struggled tonight. Didn't score until late, 1 of 8 from the floor. Gobert came to life with 8 points. Ertel with 7 points and 4 assists. France trailing by 4 points, but could have been worse. They were down more in this game tonight and had a nice little run there at the end of the first half. They trailed by 12 points at one stage, and they got the wind in their sails, pulled it within 1 before Ruban, who is leading the Czechs in scoring with 14 points, got his team back to a 4-point lead. I actually expected a little bit more from Théo Maledon tonight, perhaps, but I guess Ertel's getting the majority of the minutes at the break. Maledon has played just 4 minutes, hasn't even attempted a shot. He's turned it over a couple of times. It's probably got him out of the game. And again, Ruban, again, you really have to salute the Czechs with Bohacic out of the game, with Shataransky out of the game, and also with Krejci out of the game. And this guy has shown amazing leadership, not only the way he started, but also how he really picked it up when France went on a run. But you also have to salute Patrick Alda, who just really was a true warrior out there for the Czech Republic. And this Czech team is going to be a force to be reckoned with, whether they, the rest of the way, whether they make it to the World Cup or not. But you got to remember as well, they will be playing at the FIBA Eurobasket, hosting FIBA Eurobasket group phase games, and from that standpoint, they will be a factor as well. So Collet, I think, probably is encouraged by the way that France played, as well as Gobert late in the second quarter. They'll know that they can certainly get much more from Evan Fournier. You're not always going to make your shots, but eventually those shots will start falling. At least you hope they're going to start falling. Well, folks, get the World Cup Qualifiers app downloaded, scan in the barcode, and you'll have everything at your fingertips, from news, stats, videos, and more. It is definitely worth having in your smartphone. So, 2 European qualifiers games for both the Czech Republic and France. And then they will be off to the FIBA Eurobasket. The Czechs will be hosting Group D with the Netherlands, Finland, Poland, Israel, and Serbia. So I think they'll like their chances of at least advancing from that group, but I'm sure they have designs on doing much more. And France, meanwhile, are going to have a really tough group that I'll be at watching in Cologne with Germany, Hungary, Slovenia, Lithuania, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. And I suppose the way that Bosnia and Herzegovina played tonight, you'd have to say they are now the big outsiders going into the Eurobasket. Hungary played very hard tonight against Lithuania at home, but lost. And then Germany will have the home crowd. Germany seemed to have stepped it up a notch. I thought it was a risky move to move from Henrik Rödel, move on from him after he got him to the Olympics, but it appears Germany are getting stronger, and you know, good things perhaps await them. Ruban showing you what he can do when he's healthy. And I wonder if they're checking this basket after the dunk by Gobert. Let's hope that there's not going to be any type of delay for these good French fans here, who no doubt have to get home and get something to eat eventually. Well, that's interesting. Something is stuck, perhaps. Here's the dunk. No, this is the Fournier. Yeah, so that was the junk. So they were just checking something out, because Gobert hung on the rim maybe a tad bit long. In the old days, that might have been a hanging on the rim call. Funny how the game evolves and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. But we're hoping that there's not any type of damage to the backboard. But they'll have one on standby in case there is one. So the French fans, it's such a festive atmosphere inside the Accor Arena here in Paris that they probably don't care. They're just enjoying the moment. But maybe who you have to feel bad for is this Czech team. They want to get out and play, and you know, they're in their groove, leading by 4. You know, who, if anybody, or which team benefits more from a delay here? Obviously, it's not intentional. Foul could maybe lend a helping hand, get out and try to raise the basket. But he's going to sit there. Pascal Donadou, good to see that he sees the humorous side of this. I don't think Nano Ginsburg is seeing the funny side of it. So Rudy, I'm guessing, hung on the rim, and this is what this is about. Ginsburg game suspended due to a technical issue, unfortunately, folks. So we're going to have to, can't get the basket to go up. I don't think you can continue to play with it down low like that. Somebody might get hurt. Well, you know what you did, Rudy. You hung on the rim, and now we're having to pay the price. And Nano Ginsburg and the Czech team are going to get their dinner served a little bit late tonight. I'm not sure about their flight plans for their next game, but they will play back in Chomutov in the Czech Republic against Hungary on Saturday. So that promises to be that's really a do or die game, I would guess, for both the Czechs and for Hungary. Unless the Czechs are able to get the win tonight. Certainly it's do or die for Hungary after their loss today. They got to get their wins. And after this game, France will turn their attention to Bosnia and Herzegovina in Sarajevo. So they're probably going to be catching them at the right time. Although France will know that when you head to that part of the world, into the Balkans, it can be pretty tricky. They lost to Montenegro back on July 1st, 70-69. So now Rudy Gobert is talking about the basketball. I don't think he's talking about hanging on the rim right now. But this will be where the Czechs are shooting at this end. So clearly they've got to get it right. And it's one of the unfortunate things that happens sometimes. Look at that, the legend, Florent Pietrus. Flo. His son's playing now. Quite a good player as well. His brother played, Michael Pietrus. But for my money, when I think of France basketball, I think of Florent Pietrus. He was just a great servant to the national team. So many years. Never really stole the limelight because he played with Tony Parker, Boris Dio. Oh, look at that. Sandrine Gruda in the house. And Emily Gomez as well. Sandrine Gruda is France's most famous basketball player. She'll be setting off to go to Australia for the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup, which is going to be a sensational event down under in Sydney. And Sandrine is one of the great stories in basketball from Martinique, and has really had quite a career, quite a great example of what you can have. You can have the talent, but you got to put the hard work in to realize that talent. She's obviously played at the highest level, club-wise, for France. Olympics. Jean-Pierre Tritat, president of the French Basketball Federation. Who else can we spot in the crowd? If we can spot anybody, I'll tell you. And it's good to see the French TV is down there on the case, talking about what's going on here. The technical issue. Hey, listen, I've got nothing else to do tonight, so I'm enjoying the atmosphere in Paris with the cell phone lights coming out and making the most of the opportunity. But I do think the question has to be asked: which team is going to come off worse from this situation? Which team possibly? Because don't forget, France, we're really kind of in full flow in the second half. Excuse me, in the second quarter. Here's Balvin discussing with Rudy. Rudy, can't you get me a job over there with Minnesota? I'll come and play. I'll hit the three-pointers. You just get me the basketball. It's almost as if the basket has been jammed. I mean, there was a jam from Rudy, and now it seems to be jammed. But I know they also have, at least they're supposed to have, a basket that they could bring in. But they've got some, no doubt, the right people down there at this time trying to resolve this issue. Balvin certainly sees the humor in it. Hey, let's get together and go have some dinner one night when you're free. Talk about being centers in international basketball. Here it is again. Watch Rudy Gobert. Get out of my way. Now he dunks it, and then he hangs on the rim, and then he slaps the basketball. I mean, yeah, looking back on it, really, that's a bit excessive. And I just think that maybe that one was missed, and maybe there should have been a call, because not only has he gotten away with it, but he's led, it appears, to a delay, although they did continue to play. But I would assume that is what has happened, that Rudy Gobert hung on the rim a little too long and has caused some unfortunate damage to the basket support. So again, this is the opening game for both of these teams in the second round of European qualifiers for the FIBA Basketball World Cup. And despite the absence of Tomas Shataransky, despite the absence of Jaromir Bohacic, and despite the absence of Vit Krejci, the Czech Republic just played as well as they ever have had, as they've ever played. I mean, they came out and really took it to France, going up by, I think it's 12 points at one stage. Yeah, it was 12 points. And that was early in the second quarter. France stormed back. Remember, France come into this with 5 wins in 6 games. The Czech Republic comes into this with 3 wins in their 6 games. So they're under a lot more pressure to get a win tonight than France, and they played like it. They played with a real sense of urgency. And now the question is, how do these teams respond after this unfortunate delay? Laurent Forest, former France national team star. There's Fournier. Wondering when this thing is going to get going again. For France, you'd have to think that if they get a win tonight, they are going to be, I mean, no team in Europe can qualify for the FIBA Basketball World Cup in this window. So that much we know. So they still have work to do. And if France lose this game, then perhaps things become a little more uncertain for them, although I think everybody expects them to go ahead and qualify. But for the Czech Republic, if they lose tonight, and it's a big ask for them to win here in France, but if they lose, they are really going to be up against it when you consider the state of play. So you've got Montenegro, who have gotten a big win tonight. Yeah, so Montenegro won 88-69 over Bosnia-Herzegovina. I'll never understand how Vedran Bosnic left Bosnia-Herzegovina, because they were flying while he was the coach. So Montenegro, once again, having qualified for the last FIBA Basketball World Cup, are now sitting pretty. And that is clearly the team that the Czech Republic have their sights set on. As the Czech Republic, if they play Montenegro twice, which they will, you know, they can have a chance to beat them and still get to the World Cup, you would think. But they're also going to have to they're going to have to play this France team twice. All right, can I just get down on my knees, look up to the heavens, and say, thank you, thank you. Whatever has happened, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for raising the basket support, and it only adds drama to the occasion. That's for sure. This is just amazing stuff. Just when you thought you'd seen it all. But I don't understand why it happened. I mean, I know that Rudy obviously has caused it because he hung on the rim, but they continued to play after that dunk, and it was okay. But I don't know if someone decided they wanted to check it to make sure it was okay, or if somebody, the Czech team, said, wait, that doesn't look right. Oh dear, not good. I'm going to get back off my knees. And let's have it go up again. Yeah, okay. Let's leave it up this time. Please. Now they're going to have to come out and measure it, I think, just to make sure that it's okay. And I think it really kind of makes you appreciate all of the hard work and planning that goes into this, you know, goes into basketball. I mean, obviously this doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen often. but occasionally it happens. And when it does, you have to have the right people on the spot that can come out and remedy the situation and make sure that that basket is going to be fully operable and ready to go. And I would think that they would have to come out and measure it to make sure it's okay. I don't know, or maybe there was a pin that was knocked loose because Rudy. And I am a fan of Rudy Gobert, so don't think I'm having a go at him for no reason. But you know, the reality is he did hang on the rim and he slapped the backboard. So I think that's an indication that maybe he was treating it like it was his own little jungle gym. And the rest of us now have had to wait an extra 20 minutes, including Andrew Albasi, who's like, man, I'm ready to get out of here. Let's get the win and go. Okay, so the game's going to start again in 2 minutes. But, you know, it's such a great crowd here in Paris tonight that really it doesn't matter. I mean, the longer these people get to soak up this wonderful atmosphere, the better, in my opinion. So, Czech Republic trying to rediscover their mojo, their focus. I really wonder, I think one of these teams might start this third quarter not as completely concentrated and focused as they were. And this is where the coach is going to have to really, this is where the coach earns his money. He's going to have to make sure his players are ready to go. You would think that the French fans are going to be helping this French team get them going. Oh, so now the game's going to resume at 9:52. So not 9:50, and so the great thing is that there's this basketball game. There's a lot more basketball games coming up tomorrow that we're going to be bringing you all of the action, just all happening. FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup is just around the corner. That's coming up. I know everybody's getting excited about that, including all the fans here in France. As their team goes, Czechs will not be there. They've had some great women's basketball teams over the years, including finishing runners-up in 2010 with great team. The Czechs will not be in Sydney.
Par exemple, le 77. Vous parlez. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
And the roar here in the Accor Arena in Paris is deafening as the second half action gets underway after the technical issue. And Yabusel comes in and dunks it, and thankfully does not hang on the rim as France cut into the Czech lead. Seno over to Ruban, and his pass intercepted. Ertel reading the situation nicely. And another throwdown, and stop hanging on the rim, Rudy. How about it? Goodness, unbelievable. I mean, just has the thought occurred to him that maybe the delay was because he hung on the rim. Now he comes up and gets the rebound. Over to Ertel. Don't give it to Rudy, please. And now a foul. So, you know, wondering which team it might have had a detrimental effect on and I think we have our answer. It seems like the Czechs have not started as well and as focused as they needed to. And there's Rudy again, hanging on the rim. Look at it. Let go of it. I know it's hard not to dunk it. I mean, that's the way he dunks. That's the way he dunks. Shot clock winding down. France can reclaim the lead. Hertel. And Vesely gets it over to Sainal. Excuse me, Terka. Ruban. And the foul has been called on Tarpe. Just a little bit of a hand check. I don't have any problem with that defense in that situation. That was good play. Paterka for three, short. Yeah. I guess Nano Ginsburg doesn't want to call timeout because his team has had a long timeout. And there, oh, and Rudy misses the dunk. And this is quickly becoming the story of the game. Rudy Gobert and the dunk, and then he could just go through the various dunks and the dunk attempts. Now the long rebound out to Hertel through the legs. And the foul called on Andrej Sainal. And Hertel is just born to entertain. Look at this. How did he miss this? Look at Hertel going through the legs. We've seen the behind the back pass from him tonight. We've seen now the through the legs. And now we see Yabusel going to the line and putting France back in front. Somehow, some way, as Collet looks over at his coaches, you know, the Czech bench, or somebody on the floor for the Czech has to really kind of flip a switch here. They've got to get it back. Whatever it is, they have to get it back because it's not with them right now. Sainal. Vesely. And the pass gets away from Vesely. Here comes Fournier, and he goes in, he gets rejected. And Gobert is fouled by Sainal. And you can't blame Fournier for trying to go in for the dunk. It's not what he's known for. But he's trying to show some hops. Great job by Ruban. But nobody was there to get the rebound. Ooh, you're not putting me on a poster. So Ginsburg calls timeout. Let's try to listen.
Let's go now, Chin. Chin. We don't need to force. We can't go. We have to keep the skinner. Okay? Chin. Right? Chin. Right? Let's go. Come on. 1, 2, 3.
Well, maybe Nano Ginsburg, maybe it was almost predictable that his team would come out and be a little bit flat here at the start of the second half. So you weather the storm a little bit, you call the timeout, then you get your players back, and you hope that you can kind of get your mojo back if you're the Czech Republic. Rudy misses the free throw, so no three-point play. So damage limitation for the Czech Republic. Here's the Czech Republic facing the D, and tough pass, not collected. And now France run the other way. Fournier. Balvin rebounds the miss. Maybe Balvin's insertion can help. There's Pulpa. Now Balvin. Ruban bounce pass. Oh boy, that was big time. And that's how you dunk it. You don't hang. Back to a 2-point game. Right at Yabusel too. 11 points for Andres Balvin, who has the 3 fouls. Clearly a tone setter because he had to put him back in. Now the long 2, and Fournier gets it to drop for France. Poupin gets down low, passes it back outside to Balvin. This time Gobert has to guard him. Now the pass gets away and into the hands of Hertel. Left wide open. Poupin. Oh boy, he gets rejected. Here comes Hertel again. Quick pass. Fournier scores with reverse. Yeah, Poupin's just not going to have much of an opportunity to score up against Gobert in that situation. Kislink fouled as he gets into the paint. Well, you judge Hertel how you like in terms of being the starting point guard. But he's got 7 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds. I mean, those are pretty good numbers. And Ruban gets blocked. Balvin there tries to get it, but Yabusel has it. Tarpe getting a lot of minutes. Here's Gobert. And Gobert goes right at Balvin. And France have now opened up an 8-point advantage. Boy, great defense. Not just from Gobert, but Tarpe going up and challenging the shot. Into the corner. And Ruban decides to get rid of it. And they pass it over to Jelinek, and he gets blocked by who else but Tarpe, who's just all of a sudden morphed into the all-world version of Terry Tarpe. Great defense. Tarpe with 3 blocks. He hasn't attempted a shot. He also has 2 steals. So that in and of itself tells you he understands what his role is. He is playing defense. Jelinek. The Czechs feels like they haven't even come back yet from the second half. They are struggling. Ruban, tough shot. Hertel, up it goes, and another break for Poirier. And now a 10-point advantage. And France right now about to lower the boom on this Czech team. Kislink. Luau Cabarro, he drives in and scores. And the French right now, they're the only team out there. And, you know, in a sense, you hate it for the Czechs because they were playing good basketball. It's not to say that the delay to the start of the second half is the reason why they are playing as they are right now, but it cannot have helped.
Andre, after you pick, run, okay? We need to play simple. We can't play all this. Let's play now. Oh, simple. Oh, okay. right? Somewhere you want, especially on the top, or continue to the other side and pick and roll, okay? Let's go, come on. 1, 2, 3.
It has been one-way traffic in this second half, and that is France, who have trailed by as many as 12 points in the game, but right now they lead at 56-44. They were down by 4 points at halftime, but they have been worth the price of admission in this third quarter. There's no question they're going to be very difficult to catch right now as things are going. They have got the wind in their sails. It's got to start on defense for the Czech Republic. Maybe if they can make a couple shots. Here's Balvin. He goes in, and great work getting it to Balvin. Coming right out of the timeout. He takes the punishment. Is fouled by Poirier. And one thing that Balvin has not done well tonight is shoot free throws. Now 0 for 3. First make. And again, this is where it has to start for the Czechs. It has to start on this end of the floor. Fournier. Tough first half. Well, misses that one. Another chance for the Czechs. Jelinek slowed by Luau-Cabarrot. The strength of the Czech team is that they spread it, they pass it quickly, they cut, pass it back out. And France weren't going to give away Vesely, give anything to him. And now the dunk from Luau-Cabarrot. Biggest lead of the game for France, 13 points. Kislink, wide open three. Finally. Well, Czech Republic have come down and had a couple of good sets on offense. Pass goes off the hands of Poirier. That's then Poirier. And Luau-Cabarrot fouls Kislink. So that was not a shot from Vesely, who was trying to make the pass. But the French players had the hands up, and it led to the pass from Yabusel, then the Luau-Cabarrot dunk. And just like that, the French with Poirier go back up 60-48. Kislink gets in quickly. Balvin keeps it alive and not able to score with the putback. Yabusel has it blocked, but he's fouled by Auda. That's just a pass, probably the worst play that Ruban has made tonight. You know, you never really want to throw it towards the other team's basket on the inbounds play, and definitely not when he's guarding your man so close like that. At least if you are going to make that pass, you can't make it so lackadaisically. Yabusel, maybe some people would vote him as the player of the game if it were over right now. Of course, you could always go for Gobert, or you could go for Hurtel, or maybe even Boris Dio if you still like him, player of the game. He did come out and make a big appearance to be honored before the second half. And look at that. Poirier gets the offensive rebound. Those things simply cannot happen when you're trailing by 12 points. The Czechs have got to rebound the miss. Ilya Koba might have been fortunate to get that call. The Cello goes out. And Kobo takes it back up to a 13-point lead. Well, maybe, yeah, I have to say, having watched Théo Maledon play in the last window for France, I would have expected him to have a more prominent role tonight, but I suppose with Collet, maybe the message that he's sending is that, you know, some of his veteran guys, they've put in the hard work over the years, and, you know, they deserve the minutes. Patrick Alda takes his time and makes the first. I see Lubos Barton really looks after himself, doesn't he? He looks fit, like he can get out and shoot those threes. Well, back to an 11-point game. I mean, it's certainly not over if you're a Czech fan, but you got to really hunker down here. Maybe, you know, get some stops and get some easy baskets. 3-point shot, and right now this France team and Théo Maledon, or no, Luau Cabarro, excuse me, hitting the 3-pointer. He's been good. Wow, that's not going to get it done for the Czechs. Crazy 3-point shot in that situation. And a 3-pointer at the other end, not there. Kislink comes down with it. Final minute of the third quarter. A nightmare third quarter for the Czechs. Jelinek doesn't look nearly as good, Jelinek, as he has in previous windows. And I'm afraid Balvin, that's not his right to do that, because you're only hurting your teammates. So by getting the technical foul, you don't, you know, you hurt yourself. You get the foul. And you hurt your teammates who are out there really working hard, trying to get back in the game. So the technical foul puts him on the bench, and Luau Cabarro misses. But Balvin now has 4 fouls. St. All, meanwhile, also has 4 fouls. He's on the court. And Martin Krish comes into the game. First minutes of the game come in for Balvin. So, yeah, unfortunate for Balvin. Things aren't going your way, but you can't lose your composure like that. And now the drive, and Luau Cabarro scores another one. Making the most. He's like, I've just gotten back in the game, and I'm going to make sure I stay out here this time. Well, it's really unfortunate for the Czechs. I mean, again, it's not the French national team's fault, because they were able to overcome that break because of the technical issue. But clearly the Czechs were affected, and they just don't look anything close to the team that went to halftime. Even though the France team was battling back, at the end of 3 quarters, France lead at 66-50. over the Czech Republic. So you can digest the stats and see that France, despite the errant three-point shooting, are well in command. 10 more makes now inside the arc. So here's a look back at the action. And Gobert getting another dunk. Bertel pushing the ball, getting it up. Get the Courtside 1891 app in your smartphone, folks. That's what you need. It's got everything you want. Make sure that the clock situation looks a bit tilted up there, doesn't it? So can the Czech Republic turn what was a promising effort in the first half? Can they kind of capture some of that magic that they had in the first half and come back and make this a game? Because right now they're getting beat 66-50 after just a woeful third quarter. Kobe stepped out of bounds, so break for the Czechs. Turnover, and here comes Luau Cabarrot. This time decides to lay it up and in. And right now the French are just finding it very easy. Good play, Luau Cabarrot, disruptive. St. All from downtown, good, the three-pointer. Well, you just got to play if you're the Czechs. But you definitely have to get some stops. Cabarrot, Luau Cabarrot for three, gets it right back. Well, he's decided he wants to be the leading scorer of the game tonight. All of a sudden, wow. He's taken over in this third quarter. And the basketball goes back over. So that was St. All, and then Luau Cabarrot with his answer. Good meter and a half behind the arc, 2 meters even. Cordinier. This is right about the time you would expect Cordinier to go in for a dunk. Vincent Poirier, though, lays it up and in. St. All not able to save it in bounds. I mean, you could not have a more contrasting two halves of basketball than what we've seen from the Czech Republic tonight. I mean, utterly brilliant for much of the first half. And they just haven't been anything close in the second half. Uh-oh, Poirier goes in and he's fouled, not able to go up for the dunk. Well, it definitely wasn't a hack, but they called the reach on somebody. So, just have a check in here. It was on Vesely. So France go up by 21, having trailed by 12 points. So it's been quite a turnaround for them as well. So, you know, has it. Kislink. And Kislink's pass intercepted by Kobo. Oh, look out. Here comes the dunk. And yes, it is indeed from Poirier. And France just not just blowing this game open, they're blowing it wide open. And now the offensive foul called on Patrick Auda. This was the steal and leading to the dunk from Poirier. So Auda's going to take a seat. And Balvin, who's had time to calm down since picking up the technical, comes back in with 7 minutes remaining. But that's when it really felt like it unraveled, when he went out of the game with the technical. And Kislink goes in, tries to dunk it. I don't know if that qualifies as a dunk or not, because he definitely went up and got his hand on the rim. And then the ball ended up going through. It was just a layup. Anyway, good aggressive play by him. And then Amat N'Baye can't control it. Look at this. He goes up. And yeah, it just doesn't go in on the dunk, but then it bounces in after the going off the backboard. Well, you think that if the Czechs are playing at full strength, if they're playing, yeah, you don't have what happened at halftime. I'm not sure they still win this game, but I think that they've been knocked out of their stride, and it'll be interesting to see how they recover from this if they don't pull off a miraculous comeback here over the final 6 minutes. And there's a Kobo showing his elite skills, and now the steal by Luawu Cabarro, and now the lob, and Amat N'Baye has to hang on to the rim just so he doesn't have a nasty fall. And now the steal again from Kobo. And they're just making it look easy right now. Wow, that was a great finish by Chris. He knew the shot blockers were there, but he was able to get it up off the glass and in. Three-point shot is good from Akobo. Now we're starting to see the best of him. So again, it's worth repeating that France will next take on Bosnia and Herzegovina in Dvorana. Mirza Delibasic in Sarajevo. And another dunk for Amat Inbay. And then the Czech Republic will next be in action on Friday. They'll be going up against Montenegro, and that'll be a must-win for them. You know, if they get their wins against Montenegro, and if the Czechs get their wins against Hungary, you know, they could get 4 wins. If they look at it like that, I'm not saying they will, and I'm not saying they should, but if they can, then they will have a chance. Say they lose this game and then they lose the next one against France. That would leave them 3-5, so they would go to 7-5. And of course, Montenegro could potentially get another win against Bosnia and Herzegovina, but they would have to play Lithuania, they would have to play Hungary. Yeah, you'd have to say that right now Montenegro have put in the heavy lifting, and it's going to be awfully difficult to catch them. So the Czech Republic is going to have to really almost run the table just to give themselves a chance to get into that top 3. Forrest. Here's Theo Maledon. Comes back in. Well, you'd never, you know, if you just showed up right now and you looked at the score and you saw 86-57, France on top, you just have no idea how competitive it was in the first 20 minutes. And the fact that the Czechs led at halftime. Pass by Vesely, trying to get it back to the cutting crease. Spain on top of Iceland as well, winning by 21 points. So they are in fine fettle, playing that one in Pamplona, where not that long ago they had the running of the bulls. Rudy Fernandez having a big game tonight. Still haven't seen the last of Rudy, it appears. A tale of 2 Rudys, Rudy Fernandez and Rudy Gobert. And both of them are winning. Oh, another play, and Mam Jete not able to finish. Jelinek steps out of bounds. Good win for Italy today. They were trailing against Ukraine and ended up winning 97-89. That was in Riga, of course, because of the situation in Ukraine. They're playing their home games in Riga. Another basket for France as they go up to 88 points now on the night. George also got a big win at home over the Netherlands. Now another chance to run for France. And off the backboard. And Jete knows that the intention was for him to dunk, but he did the right thing just by laying it up and in. Jelinek not able to bank it in. It really will be interesting to hear what the Czechs have to say after this game. I mean, they're not going to blame anybody, but I feel pretty confident that they're going to bring up what happened, the issue about the technical issue. And again, you know, it's nobody's fault. It just happened. Well, it happened when Rudy hung on the rim, but still, you would hope that you wouldn't have such a lengthy delay because of that. Another lob. Jete brings it down. Maledon does Theo Maledon things. Nope, he misses. And Mam Jete is fouled, or rather fouls Andrej Balvin. Look at this. That was intended to be a dunk. Wonder why he didn't try. It looked like he had ample. I guess he just didn't get the elevation. Bureau in the game for the Czechs. Ball will stay at this end. So this game coming, I'll tell you, it went from one of the best first halves of the day to really one of the worst, unless you're a French fan and you can sit back and enjoy this. And the Czechs had to play without Tomasz Satoransky, without Vit Krejci, also had to play without Jaromir Bohacic, all because of injuries. Did great in the first half and just were completely off the pace here in the second. Jete rather, not able to finish with the dribble. So the French fans singing the national anthem, putting an exclamation mark on their second half performance, in which they have been by far the better team. Oh boy, risky pass. See if the Czechs can cut into this massive deficit. They do. Jelinek. You would have hoped that he would have been able to do a little bit more tonight, but I think it's still a big ask. Just the way everything kind of unfolded. Maledon hits the three, gets it back. Well, Maledon, I still think, is going to figure prominently this summer for France. We'll see how things go. How does this performance, how does this, shall I say, second half performance, how does this outcome impact the Czech Republic moving forward this summer? They're going to have to rally, try to come back strong, and also have a big FIBA Eurobasket campaign. Well, it certainly wasn't easy, at least for the first 20 minutes or so for France, but they made it look easy in the second half as they pull away for a big, big win over the Czech Republic to get their 6th win in the European qualifiers. Czech Republic, meanwhile, fall to 3-4, and their hopes of making it back to the FIBA Basketball World Cup take a big blow. France win it 95-60 over the Czech Republic. Well, make of those numbers what you will. At the end of the day, I mean, it was a different France and a different Czech Republic in the second half. I mean, France just took off and just blew out the visitors. Even ended up with 2 more assists on the game. And Yabusel and Luau Cabarro each finished with 16. Gobert had 14. Ruban had 14 in the first half for the Czech Republic. So looking back at the second half performance from France, and it was just one-way traffic. They were at a different level to the Czech Republic. Czechs just really lost any type of flow in their game, and just weren't able to come back against a rampant French team that was getting great plays from everybody, both offense, defense. Terry Tarpey getting blocks, steals. Balvin, okay, had that dunk. But Ertel, had he played the whole game, probably would have finished with a double-double. And then Ertel finished still with good numbers, as did this man, Luau Cabarro, with the 16 points. Ertel finished with 7 points, 9 assists. And really all that matters is the W, and the fact that you play well. That you're building, that you're trying to get better and better as the summer goes on, so that you can win a trophy, which is what both these teams will be aiming for at the FIBA Eurobasket. And France are just, they're not going to clinch their spot in the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023 in this window, but you feel like it's a matter of when rather than if. And Kobe says, "You gonna let me dunk it? Okay, I'm just gonna go in for the dunk." And we definitely had some good minutes in the second half. Ilya Kobo. I guess from a standpoint, if you're the Czech Republic, if you want to emphasize the positives, you come out and you say, we didn't have Satoransky, Bohacek, we didn't have Krejci, and we were beating one of the best teams in the world at halftime. And if we play like that and get better even with the guys that were not here tonight, we know we can be a much better team. So fans slow to file out of the Accor Arena here in Paris. Just loving every minute of it. Gobert, meanwhile, finished with 14 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. But that really is my favorite stat of the night is Terry Tarpey. 3 blocks, 3 steals, no points. He didn't even attempt a shot. That is a guy, and also had 3 rebounds in just under 14 minutes. That's what I call a great effort. Fournier had an off-night shooting, 3 of 13 from the floor. He had 7 points, 2 steals. Cordinier just took a couple shots, had 2 points, 3 rebounds, a steal. And Poirier, 10 points. Yabusel, 16 points, 5 rebounds, and a steal. Hamat Inbay also coming out, 4 points, 3 rebounds. So good night for the French team, and Not a good night at all for the Czech Republic. A good first half for the Czech Republic. Bad second half for the Czech Republic, if you want to look at it. And hopefully Satoransky is going to make it back at least in time for the FIBA Eurobasket, as well as Bohacik and Vitkreci. But the Czechs getting 12 points from Balvin, 14 from Ruban, and 7 from Jelinek, who's just 2 of 11 from the floor tonight. Just did not play anywhere close to what I would have expected him to play tonight. Kisling played a lot of minutes, almost 30, had 9 points, but just 4 of 12 from the floor. And Vesely had 7 assists, 5 rebounds to go with his 4 points, as well as a steal. So overall, that is, I think that pretty much puts the finishing touches on it. Well, the Czechs came, they threatened an upset in the first half, but France came out rampant in the second half and rolled to their 6th victory in the European qualifiers. Thanks for watching, everybody.